Very possible that you meet somebody today and in 3 months you are married, and the marriage can turn out right. It all depends on the preparedness of the both of you.
We'll be here. How's my sound now? All right, good. So my folks say that my sound is good, so we got to go. Hallelujah. All right, so I'm supposed to round off on how to find a life partner this evening, and I've said a lot already. I've spoken about be visible, be available. I've spoken about be friendly, and in the morning I digress into masturbation, the friend zone, and many other stuff like that. You see, and but right now I want to conclude so that we can go into something important and more important. I wouldn't say more important. It depends on who I'm talking to, but I'm going to be talking about some stuff tomorrow. I'm going to be talking about how to earn your self-confidence and how to develop your self-confidence and how to probably stand strong in life by yourself. Yeah, stuff around that. But let's round off on this issue. How do you get a life partner? The last thing I was supposed to talk about is being capable or increasing your capacity. Being capable. So being capable is a very important factor, is a very important principle that you must pay attention to when it comes to finding a life partner. Now for the man, of course we all know that money is a major factor for the man. Many people would like to refute that status quo because people would say that in the new generation that we're in, family duties or family finance and all that should be shared 50-50. That is, the man should bring in 50, the woman should bring in 50, and all of that. However, I totally believe that it is the man's responsibility to provide in the home. Now, I also believe that it is the wife's responsibility to be homely. Now, this doesn't mean that the wife cannot have money, and it doesn't mean that the husband cannot be homely. All right? This particular ideology is not saying that men should not clean after themselves, or the wife should not make their own money and become successful. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that, look, there are roles in marriage, and this is not the platform to discuss extensively how that it is God's will for the man to provide for his home, and how that it is the woman's responsibility to keep the home, that is to be homely, to nurture the kids and all of that. I've done that teaching in a message that is titled What God Has Joined Together. All right, and you can go right on our website at www.trc-media.org, www.trc-media.org. So I spoke extensively about the role of the husband and the role of the wife in the contemporary world. All right, especially since the lines are becoming more blurry and people have a lot of conversations and arguments and debates on the roles of the husband and the wife in the home, if the husband should cook and if the wife should cook and all of this, and if the wife should be making money or if the husband should be making money. So again, not explaining everything into details right now. You're not losing out on more on so much. You just have to go to the website and download that message. I believe it's about 40 minutes, and it's going to clarify to you very clearly the biblical assertions about who should provide in the home and who should also take care of the kids and all of that. However, let me just quickly say this. If you are going to be marriageable, or if you're going to attract the right partner, if you're going to be right there and you're going to be in the market or the marital market or the I don't know what word to use now, if the idea is for somebody to spot you and say, you know what, I want to marry you and just be enchanted about you and all of that, it goes beyond being beautiful or being handsome. It has to do with being capable. All right, and I think that is also the place where many university students miss out on this. Many university students or core members. It all depends though, so I'm not making a general assertion. I'm not making a rule out here. However, what I'm just trying to say is, look, when you're in the university, you can have a handsome guy, a beautiful lady, and all of that. But I guess this happens mostly for the men, or it happens against the men mostly, all right? But it happens that it doesn't matter how handsome you are if in the university and you're dating a lady. Well, if A guy comes along and is already working. He has a home, he has a house, he has a car, and he has the capabilities to take care of a home. It is most likely that a lady will go for that guy rather than another guy that is in the university or a core member who is handsome and is good looking and all of that, but he doesn't have the capabilities. You see, capabilities are just so important in getting a life partner. For example, now, you can be beautiful as a lady, and well, this may not always be the case though, because beauty and a lot of finance and a lot of glamour, okay, flashy looks and all of that. Well, a lot of men go for that. However, there are also very many men out there who can know the substance of a real woman. And they know that it is more than just having a lot of boobs and a lot of butts and curves and, being able to twerk and being able to combine mascara and use Brasilia, wig and all of that. And please, I'm not saying that those things are wrong, all right? It depends on the context. For example, I believe that a wife should be able to twerk for her husband. I believe that you should take care of your skin and you should actually look so beautiful. I totally believe in looking beautiful, looking handsome, looking impeccable, looking panache, looking all good and all that. So that is not me talking against looking good or looking flashy or looking sexy or looking good. It all depends on the context, right? But what I'm trying to say is that, look, beyond all of that, there's a capability that informs marriage, or that also makes men begin to run after you. For example, if a woman is homely, by that I mean, and many people may not like to hear this, if a woman can cook, all right, and that again brings me to the traditional ideology, or the biblically traditional ideology, that a woman actually takes care of the home. And again, I've not said that the man cannot take care of the home. I'm only talking about the specific role in marriage, all right? So I sweep as much as I can. I do as much stuff as I can. But the roles in the home, of course, are not switched just because I can do it. And I don't want to go into that explanation, but it's just simple. Download that message that I already referred you to, what God has joined together, at www.crc-media.org. This is just what I'm trying to say. If a woman can cook, she's homely. And this just even beyond taking care of the home or sweeping. Anybody can do that, right? You can get some people to help you clean your home. There are folks who are professional cleaners. A maid can do that. Anybody can do that, right? Yeah, we know. But this goes beyond just taking care of the home. When a woman is homely, she begins to exhibit characters that are motherly, that are wifely. All right, so she's caring about her male friends, knowing if they're doing well. She's a good friend, all right? She's homely. She cares about their vision. She cares about their mission. She cares about what matters to them. She sees through them, all right? She's there to counsel them and to be motherly. Every man that wants to get married knows a lady that is motherly and a lady that is wifely. And every man can also tell a lady that is just useful for probably sexual gratification. And of course, I don't expect any man who is a believer to use women for sexual gratification. However, it is what it is, right? There are many men out there who just know that, look, there are many women who are just, or ladies who don't have anything to offer when it comes to wifely responsibilities. They don't want to meet the family of the man. They don't want to be accommodative of the family. They don't want to be a blessing to the man. They don't want to care about his business. They don't care about his struggles. They don't care about anything like that. All they want is money. Money, and then to just flaunt their looks and just flaunt their assets and stuff like that. So if you want to be marriageable and you want to attract men, you got to be wifely. Let me tell you something. People don't become husbands when they become husbands. Or let me say this. People don't become husbands when they marry. All right? People already are husbands in their character and their traits. When they marry is when they now begin to exhibit it full blown, or they now begin to be constrained within the parameters of marriage to exhibit it at all times, or to demonstrate it in a more
active manner. But look, if a man is a nurturer, for example, women are going to be drawn to a man that is a leader, a man that leads them, a man that is always there to encourage, a man that is always there to nurture their dreams and their purpose and to minister help and succor to them. So let me just quickly read this in Ephesians chapter 5, all right? I'm way ahead of myself. I'm trying to say many things at the same time. I know, because I'm just trying to round this off this evening. I don't want to say this tomorrow, okay? I don't want it to jump tomorrow. Ephesians chapter 5 says something here. It says, Ephesians 5, praise God. Ephesians 5, it says from verse 31, Ephesians 5:31, it says, "For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh." Okay, Matthew says it in a different way. Matthew says, "For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife." So people, actually many preachers, have this living cleaving theory. Living cleaving. All right, so let me quickly do a rundown so it doesn't look like I'm just all over the place, right? And I'm not coordinated, as a word, this night. Just because I'm trying to get over this point. Let me just quickly give some simple points about being capable. And being capable and making it easy for you to find a life partner. Number one, you got to be independent. Now, being independent does not mean that you are rebellious. Being independent doesn't mean that you are an enemy to your parents, or you are an enemy to your guardian, or you don't just listen to anybody. That is not what it means to be independent. What it means to be independent is that you understand your life, you understand your purpose, you understand your progress, you know where exactly you're going, you know what exactly you need for it, and you know you can make very important and critical decisions in your life. You can make critical decisions in your life. So, number one, be independent. It is part of the capabilities that you need to be attractive and marriageable. You got to be independent. And I'm saying that, okay, I don't want to rush over that because it's important. You see, there are many ladies who are beautiful, they are homely, they are everything, but it is difficult for a man to marry them because it is just difficult. I mean, they are always restricted by their parents. They have not earned the freedom from their parents. They have not earned the respect from their parents. And so their parents can just lord anything over them. It also happens for guys, right? It happens to guys. And so you got can just come all of a sudden and just say, you know what, she's not approving this relationship, and then you can get to go and tell your partner to leave and all of that. That doesn't work. So for you to conveniently and comfortably attract somebody that wants to marry you and somebody that is marriageable, you got to be independent. And that has to do with your mental independence. That is, you can think for yourself. And again, this doesn't mean that you don't take advice. This doesn't mean that you don't listen to your pastor. This doesn't mean that you don't listen to your guardians or your parents or people that are important to you. So please don't misunderstand what I'm saying at all. I'm not talking about being obstinate. I'm talking about being independent. Number two, you got to be able to work. It's part of the capabilities that you need for marriage. You got to be resourceful. All right, so nobody wants to marry a lazy bone, some sort of a liability, somebody that is not willing to contribute. And when I'm talking about a liability, I'm not talking about somebody who has a dream to become a president or, you know, a governor and all of that. No. And you know, many women are pushing above board now, just trying to prove that they are not liabilities. Look, if you're a lady and you're a wife, for example, and you're taking care of your home and you're taking care of your children, and maybe you have an agreement with your husband that your husband will, you know, has a work that will not allow him to be at home, but you say, you know what, you want to be at home, you want to take care of your children, you want to take care of your home. That is not being a liability. Many people feel that if a woman is not going to some office and, you know, taking some Gucci bag and driving a Lexus Jeep and sitting in the board of a boardroom with some directors and speaking some 21st century 500 millennium development goals, they feel that that person is not moving forward in her life. It's not true. It's not true at all. So being a liability just means that you cannot even take care of your kids because you don't want to do anything. You cannot even take care of the home because you don't want to do anything. So that is what it means to be a liability. Being a liability means that you don't want to do anything. You don't want to contribute anything other than just give me food, give me sex, give me money, give me prestige, give me influence. You know, that kind of give me person. That's a liability. All right. So I'm trying as much as possible to define these things in a very, very clear way, because relationship issues can often be misunderstood, be misconstrued, such that people can even take things out of context altogether. And I'm trying as much as possible to make sure that I'm not misunderstood. All right, there's this song that says, "Oh God, please don't let me be misunderstood," or something like that. I like that song. So you got to work, and for the man, all right, you got to work hard. And I'm not saying the woman should not work hard, but I'm just saying, look, in the context of marriage, the man will be bearing more financial responsibilities, and so you got to work hard. You got to be streetwise. You got to learn how to make money. And there are some men that still do not know how to make money. They don't know how to add value to themselves. They don't know how to relate with money. They don't know how to look for investment. They don't know how to fraternize with the streets. And when I mean fraternize with the streets, I don't mean do something wrong. I mean you're just in the trend of events. You know how to make money. You know how to maximize opportunities. You know how to be proactive. You know how to do everything that needs to be done. So I'm talking about that kind of stuff, right? So it's important that you got to know how to make money. It's part of the capabilities that you need. All right, so you got to know how to make money. You got to be able to work. It's very important. And so no lady in her correct mind is going to marry a lazy man. And some ladies do though, but I'm just saying the ones in their correct mind wouldn't. You wouldn't marry a lazy man. And you wouldn't marry a lazy man. So it's important to work hard. It's part of the capabilities that you need to be marriageable. Now, in case you don't have money yet, I quickly want to patch on that. In case you don't have money yet, you don't have a lot of money, or you don't even have money yet, or you don't have a car, you have a mini flat, but it's not equipped with all the state-of-art technology, like the recent 4K LTV CD, LCD TV, 4K Ultra, whatever stuff. And you're thinking to yourself, you're marriageable, you're of marriageable age. How can you marry a woman, and how can you make a woman believe in you? Look, it's easy for a good woman to believe in a man that is hardworking, even if the man doesn't have much yet, but the man is driven, is purposeful. For example, if today all you're doing is selling gala, if today all you're doing is selling recharge card, if today all you're doing is selling Ragoli's water or Ever water or whatever water, if all you're doing is even doing a daily job, like working as an artisan, as a furniture maker or a shoemaker or whatever stuff, look, a woman that has a foresight can tell that this is going to become big. And the way you talk about what you do is important. Don't just talk and you're talking so lifeless. You're talking without vision. You're talking without a spine. In fact, when you talk, you cannot believe yourself. Talk less somebody else believe in you. That is not good for you. So, and that is why it happens that many sweet talkers get ladies, right? Because ladies are people that are driven to, they're attracted to visions. They are drawn to visions. And so if somebody can present their visions well, they're likely to go with that person. Even if the person doesn't have money, right? So you got to be able to not just work hard, but be able to present yourself well. All right, so all you may have today might be fairly used clothes, but you can dress well. You see, you can still look presentable. It doesn't have to be all bad for you. And so the presentation matters, and the look matters, and every other thing matters along that line. Okay, so you got to be independent. You got to be hardworking. It's part of the capabilities that you need for marriage, and you got to be mentally ready for the eventualities of marriage, or let me use the circumstances of marriage. There are many people that are not ready emotionally for marriage. They are just happy, trigger happy. For example, if you're ready for marriage, you'll be ready for the challenges that comes with being with somebody else. And when you are talking that way, somebody who is mature can tell that you're ready for marriage. The questions that you even ask, they are different. I mean, a normal person who is just trigger happy about being in a relationship can always be asking about shawarma, when are we going for a date, when are we going to eat hot dogs and all of that. You're always asking for buffet, and you're always asking for a party and all of that, because you're not ready to be committed yet. But somebody who is ready to be committed, the discourse, the lingua is all different, right? This person is talking about kids, he's talking about genotype, he's talking about the family, he's talking about relocation, he's talking about his dream, he's talking about his purpose, he's talking about his church, he's talking about his biblical doctrines, he's talking about a lot of stuff. She's talking about the same thing too. So independence and being able to work, very important, right? Independence, being able to work, and being mentally ready, being emotionally ready. And that's the aspect of living to cleave. Live to cleave. That is, you got to be ready to be with somebody else. You got to be ready to share your life with somebody else. There are people that are too busy for marriage. It's a fact. They are too busy for marriage. They have no time for somebody else. Then they get married just for sex. And then the marriage begins to go upside down. There are people that can never make a career sacrifice for their marriage. Yeah. There are people that will never leave a location for another location because that is where their wife is or that is where their husband is. They will never do it. Because to them, marriage is just another thing that is by the roadside. Sometimes we prepare 5 years running and going to school, studying a course to be somebody. Probably to be an accountant, probably to be an architect, probably to be an urban and regional planner. Whatever stuff. We plan 5 years. We go to school. Sometimes we go to school for 6 years just to become these things. But people don't prepare their lifetime for the marriage that is going to last a lifetime. They just want to jump into it and just try it out. And if it doesn't work, just leave it. It's a very bad mentality. So your capability is going to be driven in your mental progress towards marriage. Your proactivity, the kind of questions that you are asking. You see, the kind of foresight you have in marriage is going to make you spot loopholes. For example, somebody who is just about being trigger happy, who is just about having fun and all of that, the thinking of this person or that person is just on the surface. The person doesn't notice the important things. Why? Because he or she is not thinking about the important things. So imagine that, let me just quickly round off on this. Imagine that you're probably a lady of 27, and probably you meet a guy of 28 or 26, doesn't matter. Again, let me quickly say this along the line. There's nothing really that says that you cannot marry somebody that's younger than you if you're a lady. It all depends, okay? I've thought to myself, if a guy is on top of his career, is actually on top of his purpose also, is godly, is spiritual, he knows exactly what he's doing, and it's not like he's 10 years younger than you, or totally out of your age range, as it were, and you just say, you cannot marry him because you want to be older. You want to be younger in the marriage. You got to rethink that, okay? But that's not my talk, all right? But you got to rethink it. It all depends. There's a lot to it, but you have to rethink it. You have to be broader in your scope, right? Because somebody can be 50 years old. A man can be 10 years older than you and be stupid. A man can be 10 years older than you and act 10 years younger than you. And a man can be 2 years younger than you and act 10 years older than you. It all depends, right? But what was I about to say? I lost my thoughts right about that corner. I think this is what I was about to say as I round off. What was I saying before I went to that story about somebody being older? I think I was talking about being mentally ready. Okay. All right. Let me just say this as I round off. Right. Being capable also mean that you're ready to do everything that it takes. I was painting a scenario of somebody that is maybe a lady that is 27 years old or a guy that is 28. So let's just assume that that's the scenario. So you are single, you're searching, you're available, and you meet this guy on the airplane, or you meet this guy in, somewhere, maybe in the club. When I mean the club, I don't mean where they party right now. It could be on the golf course, it could be in the library, it could be a
in a literary course, anywhere like that. And this guy is ready, you're ready. How are you marriageable in a short time? Well, it doesn't. Friends. Number 3, be capable. All right, so number 1 actually has number 1A and number 1B. All right, God bless you. Tomorrow I'm going to be discussing on building faith in yourself and getting people to believe in you. So I think it's all about believing in you and getting people to believe in you. It's a very important discourse because it has to do with walking through life, moving through life, and it has to do with earning what belongs to you and fulfilling your purpose, because none of it will happen without a great deal of faith, both in yourself and people. Very possible that you meet somebody today and in 3 months you are married, and the marriage can turn out right. It all depends on the preparedness of the both of you. That is why you got to be prepared. The preparation is so important. For example, you meet somebody right now, you're 27, the guy's 28, or the guy's 26, or as the case may be. And then you meet today and you guys talk about your spiritual life. You talk about the doctrines that you believe in. You talk about your purpose in life. You talk about the gift of the Spirit operating in your life. You talk about your career. You talk about the kind of children you want to have. You talk about your genotype. You talk about your blood group. You talk about the family. You talk about all of that. In a week, you may have spoken about the very important things that are so important to marriage. In fact, the things that you would actually go to a marriage counselor to hear, you may have spoken about them in just 1 week. So much more that you're ready. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to rush into the marriage, right? But it just means that, look, you already know the right questions to ask. You already know what to watch out for. You already know what to look out for. You already know the warning signs. Those are the capabilities that you need, the mental capabilities. It's just the same like maybe somebody wants to sign a $100 million deal, and this person is not mentally capable. He doesn't know the questions to ask. He doesn't know the kind of accountant that is going to move that kind of money. He doesn't know the kind of government regulations that actually is involved in moving that kind of money. That kind of a person is not mentally ready. So if you want to be attractive and you want to get married and you're ready for marriage, you got to be mentally ready, such that it's easy for you to sift and to just get away from people that are not serious. You meet a guy today, the questions is beginning to ask you are things about, your boobs and your butt and all of that. This one is not ready with his life.
Or you meet somebody today, and the question is, all his discussion is just that, oh yeah, he wants to buy a car to intimidate his friend, you know, he's not ready. Or you meet a guy that his exes are still calling him, he's still calling them, they are still all about themselves, he's not ready. Or you meet somebody that his mom is still the one telling him everything to do or telling him everything not to do, he or she is not ready. Or you meet somebody that is not willing to do a blood test. He's not even willing to do an HIV test. He's not ready. You meet somebody that is not willing to talk about kids. He or she is not ready. You meet somebody who is not willing to come together and contribute and probably get an accommodation or do something that is important. You see, it is not so difficult to get married if you are prepared and you meet somebody that is prepared. So capabilities help to aid the timeliness of marriage. Very important. It's the same, let me just end where I began. The story of a lady in university that is ready for marriage and a guy that is already working. And then they meet each other. Even though the girl is still a student, right? The lady is still a student. But the guy is already capable and the girl is capable mentally. And they just look, let's get married. It can be as simple as that. So again, roll over the points. What are the factors that are important to find a life partner? Number one, be visible. Let people know that you are single. Be available. Let people know that you are available. Number two, you got to be friendly. Make friends as much as possible. You got to learn the dynamics of making friends. Number three, be capable. All right. So number one actually has number 1A and number 1B. All right. God bless you. Tomorrow I'm going to be discussing on building faith in yourself and getting people to believe in you. So I think it's all about believing in you and getting people to believe in you. It's a very important discourse because it has to do with walking through life, moving through life, and it has to do with earning what belongs to you and fulfilling your purpose, because none of it will happen without a great deal of faith, both in yourself and people believing in you. But in the move in yourself, and when I mean believe in yourself, I don't mean believe in yourself as God. I mean believe in yourself, I mean about what God says about you and what God says you're going to do. So believing in yourself the same way God believes in you. So